Okay, sir, about online gambling, kinukonsider niyo ito as bigger social crisis than Pogo. Pero pag-regulate po at hindi total ban ang isinusulong ninyo?
Well, actually, I'm medyo alarming. Kasi nga kanina papunta lang po ko, no, I was traversing EDSA. Parang 6 or 7 out of 10 billboards sa EDSA parang about online gaming, no? And we know for a fact that yung pong social consequences nito will be very very enormous, no? Na kasi nga yung ordinaryong mga tao, sila na po yung very easily accessible to everyone, lalo-lalo na sa ordinaryong mamamayan na yun na nga lang po yung kinikita hand to mouth, tapos malaking portion pa itataya. Tapos for the youth, no, doon ako na babahala din. So if we did not regulate, naisip ko regulation muna because yung po mga e-wallet apps, no, halimbawa GCash, parang nagiging enabler po sila kasi ang dali tumaya sa mga online gaming apps through GCash and other applications, similar e-wallet applications. So, kung mare-regulate natin yon at it will be restricted, siguro malaking maibabawas, no, sa mga tataya. But I'm open kung talagang just like Pogo, na kung talagang sabi ko nga, ito mas malala kasi Pilipino ang tumataya dito, ordinaryong mamamayan, unlike Pogo na at least yung pera nanggagaling sa ibang bansa. But if the consequences are already very heavy, then we can consider also total ban on online gaming.
Anyway, si President Bongbong Marcos, according to Malacanang, open daw dun sa proposal ng Department of Finance to tax online gaming operators as long as it is backed by sufficient studies. Sa tingin nyo, tama rin yun, yung panukalang i-tax na lang itong online gambling, considering yung Pogo rin, sir, di ba, nagpasakay ng batas to tax Pogo, and yet, naging talamak pa rin yung mga criminalities, human trafficking?
Well, talagang, syempre, yung it's hard to resist, no, yung pong revenue that can be generated. Before sa Pogo, ngayon po itong local online gaming na medyo malaki-laki rin, and we're in dire need of funds, but again, we have to weigh it. Kailangan po natin timbangin talaga later on kung yung bang revenue o yung pong makukuha natin pondo out of the online gaming, sapat ba ito para hindi natin titignan yung social consequences. So, kailangan natin talagang timbangin. So, kung alam naman natin na sa gaming, sa gambling, marami ang minsan pamilya pang nasisira kapag talagang nalulong. So, pag talagang ito'y lumala, then later on, siguro, we just have to sacrifice yung pong revenue because of as I mentioned, yung pong social consequences. No? We do not want broken families, lives that will be on tailspin because of addiction to gambling. Kasi may mga nakilala ko niya talagang, sabi nga ni narinig ko kanina sa radyo, yung kung empleyado niya yata sa isang branch sa Tagaytay yata, hindi yata na-remit yung kanilang kita, no, dahil yun po nalulong. May mga pulis. Ordinary folks, ordinary Filipinos are getting addicted to online gaming because it's very easily accessible. Phone lang minsan may mga truck drivers or kung sino may aksidente pa kasi naglalaro daw ng nung scatter ba yun, no? So parang bawat oras na merong libre, talagang titingin sa phone, yung pala tumataya. So, yun yung that's what's alarming about this. So, kailangan talaga natin later on timbangin na sulit pa ba itong nakukuha natin revenue, gayong nasisira naman ng pamilya.
So, considering nga, sir, na marami na daw nagiging addict sa online gambling kasi mabilis yung access kahit ordinaryong mamamayan, kabataan. So, sa tingin nyo, makukuha pa ito sa pag-regulate o talagang total ban na yung sagot dito?
Well, siguro, sabi ko nga, tignan muna natin. Kaya sa akin, regulation, yung mga GCash and other e-wallet applications should not allow their applications to be the conduits to online gaming or online gambling operations. Baka makabawas, pero kung talagang hindi pa rin, then we have to resort to total ban, probably on online gaming later on, kung talagang hindi kakayanin. So, it depends. So, pag we will have a hearing, probably, kasi marami na yatang mga senador din ang nag-file, just like myself, file a measure on regulating or total ban of online gaming. So, we will titingnan natin kung magko-consolidate kung ano po ang titimbangin na rin na based on the outcome of the committee hearings that will be held probably when we resume session.
Sir, na-mention yun, ang dami kayo nakita na billboards ng mga celebrities yung nag-endorse ng online gambling. So, anong message nyo doon sa mga celebrities na nag-endorse?
Well, kasi ang nakakalungkot in the guise of responsible gaming, no? Yun ang parang nagiging mensahe, no, ng mga billboards at advertisements. But again, siguro ang mensahe na lang natin sa kanila, siguro baka hindi rin naman nila alam, syempre, na magiging ganito yung consequences, no? Probably later on to discern more na yung maaring ito pala magiging epekto nitong pag-endorse nitong mga ganitong mga ganitong klaseng online gaming corporation that it may destroy lives of ordinary Filipinos. Sana kung pwedeng iwasan, mas maganda.
So sir, like yung isabong, isa rin itong mga naging sugal online na ngayon, lumitaw pa nga na ang dami nang involved, pati police, generals, dun sa mga nawawalang sabongero. So as Vice Chairperson ng Committee on Public Orders na nagkanda ko ng hearing tungkol dito sa mga missing sabongero, anong masasabi niyo, sir? Ngayong pati may mga celebrities, may mga public official pa ba na nadadrag din yung pangalan dito sa missing sabongero?
Well, bottom line, kung talagang it can be proven, no, yung talagang missing sabongeros, then justice has to be, their families has to be given justice, no? They are longing for justice. Kailangan talagang tuluyan yung kaso, no? But then again, hanggat wala pa tayong pruweba, mahirap naman itong manghusga, no? But of course, ako kasi hindi ako mahilig sa anumang sugal, sabong, pero nakakabahala kasi ako po nag-mayor din. Alam ko may sabungan sa amin noon. Talagang part of culture na yan, no? Yung sabong. Talagang pag may nanyonyope o yung nadaraya, talagang ginugulpi yan para hindi ginugulpi yan sa ring, no, para hindi tularan, para magtanda, pinopost pa yung mga picture para hindi na makabalik pa. Pero nakakabahala na ito hindi lang ginulpi. Kung talagang mapapatunayan na may mga pinatay, ay syempre we have to seek justice, no? Of course, for the benefit of the families.
At mukhang alaki talaga ng money involved, sir, dito kasi yung mga whistleblower, talagang ang laki ng perang binabanggit, binayaran ng ganito. So,
well, talagang iba yung
at mga ordinaryong tao tumataya.
Sabihin na natin obscene amount nung na pumapasok talaga sa any online gaming operations. Lalo ngayon, at present, during yung pandemic kasi, isabong, talagang, ang alam ko dyan, nakakwentoon ko minsan, pag 80 million lang yung pumasok para sa kanila, per day, malungkot sila. No? Imagine, a day. So, kailangan 100 plus daw. Yun yung parang narinig ko. So, malaking pera talaga ito. No? Malaking, any online gaming operations, really obscene amount of money comes in to the entities.
So, sir, sa tingin nyo, instead of buwisan itong online gambling, may dapat na gawin ang gobyerno habang wala pang naipapasang batas?
Siguro unang-una, pwede naman, I would think the NTC has the power to regulate or restrict itong mga kanina nabanggit ko na para makabawas. Pasensya na po, pero GCash and other similar apps, no, that make it easy for anybody else, no, to bet, no, using their application. So unang-una 'yun ang dapat siguro kung pwedeng ilang beses na sinabi na dapat hindi sila pumapayag maging conduit. Doon pa lang pagbukas mo pa lang app, may lalabas na ring advertisement di ba? Ng mga gaming. So doon pa lang I think initially kung habang magkakaroon investigation, I would think that NTC has the power to regulate or prohibit yung mga GCash and other similar entities to not to let themselves be conduits for online gaming.
Pero hindi naman para sa Malacanang na mag-issue ng EO kagaya ng ginawa doon sa Isabong na ipinatigil ng Malacanang.
That will be easier. Siyempre, anything that sabi ko nga, pag sinabi ng presidente, policy na yun di ba? Lalo na kung magkaroon ng EO, that will be more powerful na siyempre lahat ng ahensya susundin talaga yan.
So, before we talk about Senate presidency, meron ka pa about online gambling. Okay.
Sir, although na-touch nyo na po yung how accessible it is, can you elaborate lang po? Kasi dun sa mga hindi familiar na nagsasabi, madali ba talaga yan? Gaano ba kadali ma-access yung mga online gambling site?
Well, ako hindi ako masyadong techie, pero napapansin ko kahit na sino, are glued to their phones. Ang nakakabahala, nung nabasa ko yung post ni si Becoming Filipino, yung binigyan natin ng citizenship, pinost niya na nakakalungkot itong nakita niya na isang, di ko alam kung jeepney driver daw yun, na nasakyan niya, na habang nag-aantay ng traffic light, nakatingin na sa phone at 10 piso, 10 piso, o magkano man yun, di ba? Bet ng bet ka agad. So sabi niya, kung ganito yun, ilan yung ganong Pilipino ang nalululong na kahit pa 10 piso yan, kung buong araw po yan, malaki na rin po yun. So, I think it's very easy for everybody. Ordinaryong manggagawa, driver, lahat, police, nalululong. But ang nakakatakot dito, especially yung youth, no? Lalo sila, techie sila. Ang bilis nilang maka-adapt, no? So, in any application. So, we have to stop breeding a culture of gambling in our country.
Sir, okay.
Pero gambling pa rin. Sir, sabi po ni PAGCOR Chair Tenko, ang problem is napakadaming illegal na online gambling sites. Meron po ba kayong panawagan po sa authorities regarding this?
Well, siguro NTC, mga cybercrime units ng NBI, ng PNP has to double time kung talaga mayroong mga illegal operations. Kasi yun yung, I think nabanggit naman ni Senator Gatchalian na kaya gusto niya regulation kasi baka mag-proliferate yung illegal. But again, our agencies have to double time, no? I know that it's a big challenge, pero andyan naman may cybercrime units naman po ang PNP at NBI. They have to look into all of these illegal online gaming applications or operations in the country.
Okay, before Mayan and Jan, sir, considering na meron kayong proposed bill para i-regulate itong online gambling, meron ba kayong data or studies na nakita gaano na karami yung na-addict dito, kung gaano tumataas at gaano karaming kabataan na na-addict? May ganun po ba kayo nakita na study?
Well, wala pa tayo, no? Siguro that will be presented when we conduct our public hearing once we resume, no? Kasi kumbaga ano pa lang ngayon pa lang nakikita, but it's all around, no? Kahit wala pa tayo mga information or data from different agencies or organizations, parang kitang-kita na natin, it's all around. Sabi ko nga kanina sa inyo traversing EDSA, kung 6 or 7 out of 10 billboards are about online gaming, how much more are aware or are into it, no? Sa buong bansa.
At ba't nyo nasabi na this is bigger crisis than Pogo?
Kasi po yung Pogo, kung hindi lang nagkaroon na ginamit po yung Pogo as ng mga kriminal, ng mga sindikato, at least po yung mga tumataya doon galing sa ibang bansa, di ba? Dito lang tayo lang host, pero most of them are from other countries, no? Pero ito, mismong Pilipino, nauubos yung kanilang kinikita para po sa pagtaya. So yun, I think mas malaki yung social consequence kasi po local po ang ordinary Pilipino ang pinagkukunan po ng kita o ang nagsusugal para po sa dito sa online gaming corporations sa ngayon.
Okay, Mayan, and then Jan.
Sir, clarify ko lang, yung sa mga celebrities na social media influencers, ipagbabawal din po ba dun sa bill nyo na mag-endorse ng online sugal?
Hindi pa naman hindi pa namin na isasama 'yon, no? But probably siguro depende yan sa magiging outcome ng mga hearings kung talagang mapapatunayan na malaking impluwensya yung mga celebrity endorsers, mga artista, mga even mga athletes, no? Nakikita ko daming athletes din dahil sa mga siguro mga sports and gaming online applications. Kung mapapatunayan na talagang malaki ang impact nila o impluwensya doon sa mga sumasama, then probably we can look into that na kailangan maiban na rin siguro yung mga celebrity endorsers.
But will you appeal na as early as now, sir? Kasi ang tindi rin naman talaga ng influence nila. Will you appeal na sila na mismo magkusang tumigil mag-endorso ng online sugal?
Well, I would appeal, no, na siguro nung kinuha silang endorser, syempre hindi mo na masisi, no, na sayang din yun, income yun for them. But probably what they didn't know or didn't expect that the consequences will be this way, no, na talagang na malululong pala ang marami sa ating mga kababayan. And hindi lang yung addiction but it may destroy families, it may cost the lives of people to mag-spiral, no, talagang marami talaga nasisira kapag nalubog ka sa utang. So maganda siguro I'm hoping kung meron sigurong mauna lang dyan na celebrity mag-withdraw, probably the others will likewise follow.
So, i-appeal na kung saan na silang tumigil?
Siguro kung pwedeng from now on, no, wag na silang tumanggap ng any offer for them to endorse any online gaming corporations because sabi ko nga, nakakasira talaga ng buhay ito.
Okay, Jan, microphone.
Sir, sabi nyo, regulate lang po muna bago ano. Pero sir, may naisip na po ba kayong dapat na safeguards? Kasi sabi nyo nga is mga estudyante na may GCash, nakakataya, mga ordinaryong tao. Meron na pong safeguards kayo naiisip para hindi na po maano yung mga dapat hindi nagsusugal?
Well, unang-una, sabi ko nga ay initially yung mga agencies natin, NTC and DICT can already I think they already have the power, no, na to make these entities under them, no, GCash at iba pa similar applications, not to let themselves be used as conduits for online gaming. So baka sila pa lang, baka pwede na. Kung mas maganda kung magkaroon ng EO, no, na para po kasi it makes it easier. Pasensya na po, pero talagang ang tingin ko sa kanila, enabler sila sa online gaming, itong mga e-wallets or GCash.
So, parang you're saying, sir, dahil nakaregister yung isang minor de edad sa GCash, kailangan matik wala siyang access po na makataya sa online gaming?
Pwede ganun, no? I think that can be done. Hindi po ako masyadong techie, pero I think that can be done. Pag yung pong nakaregister is especially minor, dapat wala akong access to gaming applications.
And kaya ng NTC yun, sir? Tama?
I think so. Dapat kaya po nila yun.
Okay, Amor.
Sir, clarify ko lang po, yung EO po na sinusulong niya is to ban online gambling or yun lang i-regulate or i-restrict yung e-wallet apps from being used sa online gambling?
Initially yun ba, to restrict muna itong using e-wallets, no? But later on, as I mentioned, titignan natin kasi wala pa tayong data as of now, no? Kung ano talagang epekto nito, gaano karami na yung nalulong, nasira. So, it depends. Kung talagang matinding problema na, then probably we can go from regulatory, probably we can already consider total ban on online gaming kung talagang maging malala na.
Okay, no more question about online gambling. Let's talk about Senate presidency. Sir, did you sign the resolution supporting Senator Chis Escudero for Senate presidency?
Yes, because I'm part of, first of all, I'm part of the leadership, being the deputy majority leader at present. So, siguro as a courtesy and respect to Senate President Escudero, I have to stick it out with him. No? In the same manner that during the time of Senator Zubiri, hanggang sa huli naman no? Hanggang sa mapalitan siya, kami namang seatmates, no? Pati ako, hindi ako umalis hanggang dulo. So, siguro delikadesa and and courtesy and respect dahil binigyan ako ng tiwala, no? Binigyan ako trust and confidence ang ating Senate President Chis that I have to support him. But I have to admit that I am also torn kasi po si Senate President, former Senate President Tito Soto is very close to me also. Number one, he is my party mate sa NPC. Second, during his term as a Senate President, I was able to pass 2 landmark legislations, no? Universal Healthcare Act at yung creation ng Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development. And he was the one who really pushed me. Laking bagay po talaga na tinulungan at sinuportahan po niya itong 2 measures na ito na talaga nakilala sa akin. So, I owe it a lot to Senator Soto. But again, as I mentioned earlier, tulad ng kay Senator Zubiri, hindi ko naman pwedeng iwanan din, no? Basta-basta. And siguro out of courtesy, respect, delikadesa, binigyan ako ng trust and confidence ni Senator Escudero, Senate President Escudero, to be the Deputy Majority Leader. So, I have to stick it out with him.
Sir, pang ilan kayo nung pumirma kayo dun sa resolution?
Hindi ko na, kasi isa-isa at that time.
Paano isa-isa? Isang resolution, isang pirma?
Parang ganon.
Hiwa-hiwalay?
Hindi mo malalaman, yeah.
And then, ano yung in-offer po sa inyo ni Escudero nung pumirma kayo dun sa resolution? Mananatili kayong Deputy Majority Leader?
Most likely, I think talagang I'll be retained as Deputy Majority Leader and talagang magiging office na siya. Na just like the Majority Leader. No?
And then, ano po yung mga committee na ibibigay sa inyo? Committee chairmanship?
As of now, ang committee chairmanship ko pa rin, yung local government. Pag-uusapan pa, depende pag later on kung ano pa yung magiging madadagdag. Parang in-offer sa akin yung games, kaya lang online gaming against tayo. So, tingnan ko pa. We'll see, no? I would have wanted, kaya lang, syempre, respect yung advocacy. Sana yung anything aligned with my advocacy, kaya lang. Of course, yung UAC na, yung health na kay Senator Bongo, incumbent, inquisitive incumbent, tapos yung public services naman, isa sa mga infra, no? And I've been public services vice for a long time under Senator Grace po, kaya lang Senator Tulfo na. So, whatever would be siguro available na talagang would be aligned to my advocacy na siguro my offer, then I would consider.
So, sir, last na lang bago kay RG. So, kumusta na yung seatmate? Sabi ni Senator Mig Zubiri, parang naiwanan na siya mag-isa.
Nag-usap kami noon. Recently, we had a social gathering birthday, the birthday of Don Siangara. Nagkita kami. Sabi niya, whatever happens, politika lang yan. Yung pinagsamahan namin will never be forgotten. Sabi niya, you're my brother. Bro, sabi niya, ano man mangyari, ito, sandali lang to, no? It will pass. Pero yung pagtitingin na natin, respeto, friendship, sinabi naman niya na hindi mawawala yon. So, maaring magkaiba kami ng posisyon ngayon, but I think the respect and our friendship will always be there.
Okay, RG, and then Mean, and then Mav. Microphone.
Sir, will you still be a deputy minority leader or will you become senior deputy majority leader?
I think I'll be deputy majority leader. Parang
Not senior.
Baka isa na lang yata.
Isa na lang.
I think.
Okay.
Dati dalawa
I
yan.
think ang proposal is to make it an official
Official office.
yes.
So it's going to be institutionalized.
Kasi ngayon unlike sa House, ang dami nila no. Dito tatlo lang yung Senate President, Majority Leader and Pro Temp. So I think we need one more. So I think ito yung baka yung gawin na talagang permanent na yung
Sir,
deputy.
as deputy major, you'll be ex-officio member ba?
Yes.
Of all committees.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Mean.
Sir, sinasabi ni Senator Migs kahapon na marami siyang nakausap na parang ayaw nang ibalik si Senator Soto as leader ng Senate kasi masyado daw strict. Are you one of them, sir, na tingin nyo masyadong strict yung pamahala ni SP Soto?
Hindi naman kasi I already served under him, no? Senator Soto when he was Senate President. Maganda naman as far as I can remember. It's easy to get along with Senator Soto. Ano rin siya consensus builder. Kanya-kanyang character yan just like Senator Zubiri when he was Senate President. Talagang he'd gather everyone for caucuses, regular caucuses. Kay Senator Escudero naman, sabi niya, it's better sa plenary nila para transparent tayo. Kasi pag nagko-caucus, sabi niya, para real time din. Kung anong pinag-uusapan dito, lumalabas din. So, what's the use? So, kanya-kanya silang style. And I think I can work with anybody. So, hindi naman siguro dahil strict si Senator Soto, but I as far as I can remember, madali naman siya katrabaho.
Sir, isa pa. May mga nabigyan daw ng committee, sir, na hindi naman qualified. Meron nga ba, sir? Na...
Ayoko naman sa mga kasama natin, but siguro like me, for example, I can only speak for myself. Kung bibigyan akong committee, gusto ko yung linya ko, tsaka yung meron akong in line with my advocacy or kahit paano naman meron akong knowledge, no? So, kaya kaya siguro iba ganun din, dapat at least kahit paano so that they can handle the committee well, no? Yun na naman sabi ko na pag-isipan din natin kung ano yung handle natin. Sana po yung kahit paano makaka-benepisyo yung committee, no? Kaya ako sakasaan po sa akin, sabi ko parang hindi ko kasi linya. Una-una hindi ako nagsusugal, wala akong alam doon. But lahat naman pag-aralan, pero I would rather stick to committees that I have knowledge or are in line with advocacies.
Meron bang humingi ng committees na hindi in line with his or her advocacy?
Hindi ko
As far as you know, sir.
Parang wala akong maisip. Sino ba? Wala. Na-blank ako.
Isa na lang, sir. Naging factor ba yung impeachment nung time na nagliligawan for vote, for support for SPGs?
Hindi naman siguro. Siguro ang naging advantage ng ni SPGs because he's incumbent. Siyempre siya po siyempre malaking advantage pag ikaw yung nakaupo, no? Already more than almost half of the senators, siyempre kasama mo na, no? Konti na lang ililigawan mo sa mga incoming. Impeachment, sabi ko nga, ano man ang maging position natin dyan, we just have to go through it, no? I don't think it was a factor in choosing the Senate President.
Okay, before sir, sabi ni Senator Migs, although sinasabi nga, di ba, may suporta na ng super majority si SP Cheese, pero sabi ni Migs, never say die. Kumbaga, anything can happen pa daw before July 28. Do you think confident ka na SP Cheese na talaga?
Well, sa ngayon, I think SP Cheese already has the numbers, pero
anything
as
can
they
happen
say,
pa rin, sir?
hanggat hindi pa na-formalize at hindi pa na nag-start yung first regular session natin, siguro pag hindi pa siya na-elect, then kahit merong mga slim possibility, anything can happen. Totoo naman yung buyon, but I think at this time, if we were to convene tomorrow, si SP Chista magiging Senate President.
Kasi Senator Lito Lapid nandun na daw sa veterans block. according to Senator Mig. So, 5 na sila ngayon. So, kulang na lang sila ng ilan. Anyway, Mav.
Sir, base lang po dun sa mga lumalabas na pangalan, parang both the Duterte bloc and 2 of the opposition bloc ay kasama nyo sa majority. So how will the majority work if there are 2 very different blocs na magkasama?
Hindi ko alam kasi hindi ako part ng both sides. So, in the Senate, it has been proven time and again, no? Sa umpisa lang na yung political party does not really mean a lot, especially with issues of national significance. We often, more than often than not, that we cross party lines, no? Minsan nga nag-uusap kami ni ako kay Kela, hindi ako naging align sa mga liberal, sa mga yellow. Kami ni Senator Ontiveros, no? Minority siya, I'm deputy majority leader. There are a lot of measures that we helped each other and supported each other, no? Like for example, universal healthcare. She was former Committee on Health Chair. Ako po yung sumunod sa kanya, no? Pinagtulungan po namin na maipasa ito until now. Nagtutulungan kami with amendments, nagtutulungan kami. Even the former minority leader, Coco Mintel, I don't see it as obstruction, yung kanyang pagtayo-tayo, no? Yung kanyang engage in debates and discussions. And I think it has that makes the Senate different, na talagang sinabi nga, the most intelligent answers, the best solutions and answers are born out of debates. So kahit pinagdudusahan natin yan, pinaghandaan natin, I think nai-improve lahat. So, again, more often than not, we cross party lines in the Senate. As long as, I think we look at the issues, we look at the measures, no, that will really be beneficial. Nakakalimutan na natin yung kulay. Naging dapat naging colorblind tayo. And we just have to support if it will benefit the Filipino people.
Sir, meron po kasing, paano ba, criticism, I guess, na parang si SP Cheese dahil wala nga mga caucus, na hindi siya consensus builder. But now knowing na Duterte bloc, opposition bloc are with him, would you say he is actually a consensus builder kung napagsama niya yung dalawang yun?
Correct.
I think hindi lang siguro nagpapatawag si SP Cheese ng caucus as a whole, no, the body as a whole, but I think he talks to them as blocks or as groups, no. For example, yung Duterte block, no, yung mga known I think kinakausap po niya yan. In the same manner, even the minority noon, kinakausap naman niya. So you can say that, you can say that na in a way he's a consensus builder. Magkaiba nga lang yung style. No? Iba-iba yung style kasi si SP Mix noon gusto niya yung tinatawag lahat, build a consensus rather than fight it out on the floor. Si SPG masabi niya it's more transparent that we deliberate or we debate on the floor, no? Kasi sabi nga niya useless din naman tayo mag-caucus. Sabi niya, real time nga, hindi 5 minute state. Sabi niya, real time. As we talk, lumalabas din yung pinag-uusapan dito. So, sabi niya, I would rather bring it on the floor.
Sir, may exact figure ka na ilan na lahat yung mga senador na pumirma sa resolution?
Definitely more than 13. Baka 15 or 16.
Ganun
ang estimate ko lang. I do not have any idea. But
And then from Marlon Ramos, how do you feel about Senator Mig Subiri's remarks about some members of the seatmates block leaving him? Sabi nga niya, he's not ready to say na buwag na ang seatmates block pero nagtatampo siya sa nangyari.
Well, siguro it's naiintindihan ko naman, understandable kasi magkaiba kami ng posisyon ngayon, no? We are Senator Joel, Senator Win, we are with Senate President Cheese now, whereas si Senator Mix is with the Veterans Bloc. Understandable na magkaiba kami ng posisyon ngayon, but then again, as I mentioned nag-usap kami. Ako personally, ewan ko kung nakausap niya iba. Sabi ko, bro, whatever happens, we will always be friends. We are brothers. Sabi ko, hindi ko makakalimutan yung naging tulungan namin na nung bumabalik ako as galing ako noong 2019, nawala ako sa Senado in 2022. He really wanted me to be back in the Senate, and he helped me a lot. That's a fact. And then I will never forget that. Kaya yung samahan namin, hindi naman natin pwedeng kalimutan. And I think, I proudly say that I stuck it out with him until the last minute. Hindi ko naman siya iniwan. So, magkaiba lang kami na position ngayon, but yung political na to, I think yung friendship and brotherhood, yung pinagsamahan namin, hindi pwedeng pakalimutan.
Pero sir, bago kayo nag-decide ni na Senator Win and Joel na sumuporta kay SP Cheese, nag-effort ba kayo na hikayatin siyang sumama sa inyo o vice versa, siya naman yung nanghikayat na sumama kayo sa grupo nila?
Well, pareho na I think minsan nagkapaling siya na sana sumama doon, pero ano na kumbaga na in the end nakapag-commit na rin kami. Siguro naman we would gladly liaise or be conduits, no, para kung hindi pa sila ready to talk to each other siguro in some, pero kung may mga request naman sila, committees, whatever, kung ano man ang pwede namin iparating, pinararating naman namin kay SP Cheese.
Kasi yung sinasabi niya, nag-iisa na o hampas lupa na daw yung...
Dead hungry.
Ayan, dead hungry. Okay, Raymond.
Ano yun, joke namin yan eh.
So, buhay pa yung inyong group chat daw, sir, di ba?
Buhay naman. We active pa rin naman yan.
Wala na nagme-message daw, sir. Oo, wala na. Mukha may bago ng group chat.
Wala pa naman.
Silang tatlo nila, Win, nila Joel. Anyway, Raymond.
Sir, isa doon sa mga mahabang parang kinasasama ng puna ni Senator Mix kahapon na binanggit niya is tungkol sa distribution of funds and personnel. Number one doon sa funds, though walang elaboration, pero may mga ang pananalita niya is may mga napapaboran, may napag-iiwanan. Ganon din doon sa staff distribution daw. May isang senador na todo-todo ang ibinigay na slot. Yung iba ay very limited. So, hindi tingin niya ay ang term niya doon ay primus inter pares naman. Bakit may mas malaki, may mas maliit, may mas marami, at mas may kukonti. Sa experience, sir?
Well, that depends on the leadership, no? Call na ng leadership yan. Kung yung sa manpower and others, ang kay SP Cheese kasi nakikita ko talagang tinitignan niya rin who is working or who's not working. I would say that I am satisfied kasi ako personally na-appreciate ko, natutuwa ako kasi na-appreciate niya yung hard work, no? Na alam naman niya, pag wala ang majority leader, ako yung papalit. Kung wala ang presiding officer, wala ang president pro tempore, ako rin pumapalit. And until ako wala akong angal, alam niya, until late in the evening. And then he will text me in the evening. Pagtapos ng session, halimbawa, inabot na yung 10, 11, sabi niya, salamat sabi niya, ang dami natin natapos. Sabi niya, congrats. So, siyempre nakakatuwa na na-appreciate yung effort mo. Diba? I think he bases it on yung performance o yung talagang contribution. He sees to it that those who are always on the floor who are working na talagang mabigyan ng extra. Tulad ko, yun nga, tiniayos niya na magkaroon na ng office talaga kasi kailangan naman talaga kasi 3 lang yung leadership talaga ng Senate ngayon pero kailangan talaga ng isa pa no? Especially during budget season, hindi kakayanin na 3 lang. Pag may nagkasakit, marawala. Siyempre pagpuyatan, pag tinatapos. So, I think, Senator Escudero bases it on the contributions of each senator on the floor and to the institution.
Wala kang angal sa distribution, sir?
Ako satisfied kasi nga, I think, ako personally, I can only talk about myself na appreciated yung efforts natin.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Sir, ano nakikita niyong dynamics dito sa Senate sakaling mag-decide ang grupo ng Veterans Bloc na mag-minority sila?
Well, that will be exciting kasi ang most of them won, alyansa po sila, no? And they are also allied with administration. So against lang sila sa leadership ng Senate. So I think it will be healthy kung ano man ang, especially kung may mga priority measures ang administrasyon, ay palagay ko hindi naman siguro kung talagang maganda nga masala na talagang active, we would want an active minority. As I mentioned earlier, the best ideas and solutions are born out of intelligent debates. Mas maganda maging aktibo ang minority para nga po yung discussion maging fruitful and we can enhance, improve, and refine any measure that will be taken up on the floor.
Okay, Hannah and then Amor. Hannah, yung microphone.
Sir, kasi kahapon isa rin sa parang reklamo yata ni Senator Mix is yung tira-tira na lang yung slap soil, kumbaga tira-tirang committees na lang sa kanila. Sir, do you have any idea if major committees have already been farmed out to the Duterte bloc or some other, yung mga kasama sa majority? And if mangyayari ba yung katulad yung dati na sa isang senator, apat-apat agad ang committees na hinahawakan, ganun?
Siguro hindi. I don't think it will happen. No? As I mentioned, siguro titignan natin yung ano may babagay. Ang pagkakaalam ko si Senator Joel kasi nag-ano siya noon na kung ano yung pwede maibigay din kay Senator Zubiri at that time. I think may mga magagandang committee naman that were offered, no? Yung hindi ko maalala kung trade or ano ba yung economic affairs, no? Na bagay naman kay Senator Migs yan kasi gusto niya yung mga na mga gusto din niya, mga enterprises, business, no? So I think that was offered to him before. Kay Senator Loren naman, alam naman natin sa culture and history, Loren Legarda yan di ba? So I think it was offered to her also kasi parang hindi na pwedeng ibigay na sa iba yun. Para ka na pag nagsal tayo, parang nakikinig sa dayaw. Talagang kanya na yun. Di ba? So, it was offered naman na, I think in fairness to Senate President Escudero, I think he offered these committees that would fit them. Culture and history, tapos economic affairs or trade yata, if I'm not mistaken, were offered to Senator Zubiri.
So, sir, yung hatian sa committee chairmanship, malaking factor ba yun sa naging decision na maraming senador kung sino yung sinuportahan nila sa Senate presidents? Usually, ganun, di ba?
Sure, well, reality, that plays a factor also, no? Pero, I would say na, siguro bagay-bagay, lang din yan. Of course, it will be considered, no? I have to be honest about it. Pero, the mere fact that meron ng majority, that means that they are all satisfied with what was
sa leadership
offered on the table.
Okay, Amor.
Sir, may we know kung kailan po kayo pumirma ng reso and sino po yung nagpapirma sa inyo?
Hindi ko alam. Siguro mga during the break.
Break pa rin, sir, ngayon.
Hindi ko pa rin. Siguro mga
1 week, 2 weeks ago?
Last month, this week?
Maybe a month. Siguro after the election na. Yeah, after the election. Siguro last month or mga last
Sinong
month.
nagpapirma po sa inyo, sir?
Dumating na lang sa table niyo, sir.
Basta dumating na sa table. Parang yung brown envelope yun Dumating na lang sa hearing.
And sir,
Kapatid niyo po ba?
Buti nga, magkasama kami ngayon
Sorry nga, siya ba yung nagpapirma sa inyo?
Ano na?
Siya ba yung nagpapirma sa'yo?
Hindi.
Sino daw, sir? Sabi ni Amor.
bawal sabihin, sir.
Ha?
Bawal pang sabihin.
Hindi, baka sabihin. Hindi ka na rin maalala.
Anyway,
Sir, and then yung reso po, yun ay, paano po ba, i-approve sa plenary sa July 28? yung reso na yun? Paano po?
So, I think once we open, lalabas yun. Kung wala namang resistance, magkakaroon ng election. Gano'n naman yun di ba? Kung magkaka-election, kung sino hindi manalo, that will automatic minority leader. So, I think that's a process.
Okay, before may patanong pa rin si Marlon Ramos. Is Senator Legarda out from the discussion on the Senate leadership? And how about Senator Amy, di ba? Nag-float din yung pangalan niya para sa Senate presidency. So out na.
Sa ngayon, ang naririnig natin kasi Senator Escudero, Senator Soto na lang.
Yun lang, yung dalawa
sa
wala
ngayon.
na. So Senator Amy na kay Cheese na rin, sir.
Hindi ko alam. Wala akong balita kay Senator Amy sa ngayon.
Okay. Any other... Okay, Mayan. Use the microphone.
Sir, nakuha niya din yung siblings block.
Saan?
8 kayo, di ba? Yung majority.
Nakuha yung
Nakuha ni SP Cheese.
Ay, pero hindi ibig sabihin siblings magkasama magkaiba kami. Hindi automatic yon. So, baka naman.
Pero lahat ng mga magkakapatid na kay SP Cheese. Wala.
Nagkataon lang.
Ayan. Nagkataon. And Duterte block.
I would think so. Oo, mukhang kuha na. Kaya majority na
8, 9, 10,
Kaya nga,
11, 12.
estimate ko mga 15 na yan.
18 kayo lahat. Kasama si SP Cheese.
Siguro, hindi ko pa nakita
18,
exact
19,
numbers,
11,
pero baka mga ganun.
Oo nga pala. Kasi 5 sila ngayon yung Soto Black. At tapos si Risa, so 6. 18 na nga kayo, sir.
Yeah. If that happens, then we have a super majority. 18.
Okay. No more question related sa Senate presidency? Meron pa? Okay na. Other issue? Okay, si Mean muna. Other issue.
Sir, sorry, other issues lang. Pareak lang, sir, kung merong isinusulong po si Senator Ping Lacson, yung designated survivor na bill na para maging malinaw. Aside from yung usual line of succession, kakaroon na mag-a-appoint ng isang cabinet member na pwedeng mag-act as president in extraordinary circumstance, sir, na mag-result in death or permanent disability ng president and other officials. Sir, you think it's worth considering po?
Well, parang napanood ko na yan kaya lang na lahat na wipe out. So, kailangan may designated survivor, pero that will be a far-fetched eventuality na talagang halos lahat mawawala, no? May line of, I think we already have a line of succession at present, no? Si President, Vice President, Senate President, and then Speaker and Chief Justice. So parang imposible naman na yung 5 yun may mangyari, no? With the political situation ngayon, parang imposible na magsama ang Presidente at Vice Presidente sa isang lugar. So, may iwan talagang isa. So, pero but that's worth exploring para nga in extraordinary situation kung talagang mangyari in the event, talagang maubos yung line of succession hanggang sa 5th position, then that will be worth considering.
Sir, para lang daw kasi siya ma-assure, sir, kung sakaling may mangyaring gano'n, na tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung ikot ng gobyerno, sir, yung proseso.
Yeah, we can take a look on that. Kaya nga magkakaroon tayo ng hearing, then pag-aralan po natin.
So, okay lang na wag umattend si BP Sara sa SONA. Anyway, before Raymond, sir, hindi nga pupunta, di ba? Anyway, sir, si SP Cheese, isinabmit naman niya yung kanyang proposed bill na nire-require yung mga public officials na i-waive yung kanilang bank secrecy rights at sinuportahan ito ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos Jr. Open ba kayo dito, sir, as a public official?
Why not? Dapat. Transparency is very important and essential, and mas maganda po yun na at least pag nandun tayo, that's one of our sworn duties, no? To be transparent. So, kung wala tayong tinatago, dapat talaga open tayo for us to waive the bank secrecy pag tayo pumasok sa public service.
So, you will support dun sa approval nitong bill?
Kahit kayo, pipirma ako diba?
It means wala kayo tinatago.
Wala akong tinatago. No.
Okay.
Kasi that's part of our sword duty daw na talaga hindi tayo dapat may tinatago.
Pero hindi yun na-approve nung last Congress, sir.
Eh, baka maraming may tinatago kaya yun. Kasi ako wala tinatago. Ako pipirma kagad ako kahit ngayon eh.
Okay, Raymond?
Sir, doon lang sa SONA, sa July 28, ano yung wish list ninyo na dapat tugunan ng presidente, most especially, ito na yung kalahati ng kanyang term, na may push the soonest?
Well, mo, I have to be honest. No? Ako, I would want the president to succeed. No? Kahit na sino presidente, sinusuportahan ko. In the same manner, no, kay President Duterte, I was always been supportive, especially yung, in fairness, yung isa sa mga advocacy ko, infra development. No? Maraming nasimula nung build. No? North-South Commuter Line, Metro Manila Subway System, supposedly Mindanao Railway, airport modernization, maraming nasimula noon. And I supported him. When President Bongbong Marcos came along, of course, sabi ko, his success will be our success. Sabi nga, nung nagkaroon ng improvement, no? Yung build, naging build better. Uy, lalo ako na-excite. Sabi ko, talaga magtutuloy-tuloy na, madadagdagan pa. But unfortunately, I would say na itong what happened in the past 3 years, yung political bickerings became very early. Sana po 2027 na, 1 year before the elections. Pero ito kauupo lang. Parang 1 year and a half, 2 years, nag-away-away na. Diba? Nagsimula na sa People's Initiative. May impeachment na. Duterte Marcos, nag-split na. Yung unit team. Buti lang, hindi ako kasama doon, pero nag-split na. So, we lost a lot of momentum. Sayang. No? And ang worry ko, again, I may sound like a broken record, but our ASEAN neighbors seem to be all doing the right things. No? Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, lahat po sila parang tuloy-tuloy ang pag-usbong. Now, I'm worried because Vietnam has really overtaken us. Kung titignan mo yung foreign investments ng Vietnam, doble na sa atin. Lahat po sila nag-invest in infrastructure in the 90s. Vietnam, heavily now. And one of those things that the foreign investments are considering is infra and energy. So, kung ako po ang tatanungin nyo, sana ang gusto ko marinig sa SONA ng Pangulo, I hope that he concentrates again on infra development kasi itong kailangan natin gawin. That's what the other countries did 30 years ago. And ngayon tayo naghahabol, may away pa, may gulo pa ngayon, political bickering. Siyempre, we have to, kahit papano nakaka-apekto. Sana itong last 3 years, concentrate on that, concentrate on energy development, agri, healthcare. Siyempre, para sa mga kababayan natin, yung universal healthcare, kailangan maramdaman na ng tao. Yan, paglalaban natin, ay yung participation. So, kahit paano yung services mag-improve for the people, na maramdaman po yan. Siguro, in the long run, maraming bumati ko sa akin. Sinabi ko raw kasi, yung impeachment would cause economic disruption. Totoo naman po, it's a politically charged activity. Kung sakasakali man, it's a process. Sang-ayon ka man o hindi, we have to go to the process. That's our constitutional duty. That's one thing for sure, no? Pero sana maging madali so that we can go back to our challenges and things that we have to really give attention to. Kasi iwan na tayo eh. Nasayang yung 3 years, I would say. Kasi ang aga nung away, sana nga kung 2027 doon na lang nag-away, at least meron tayong 5 productive years. Eh ngayon parang ang laki ng habulin talaga natin. So I'm hoping that renewed focus on infra, renewed focus on energy, and for public services, yung healthcare, para maramdaman na ating mga kababayan ngayon. So, yun yung tatlong sana marinig ko sa SONA.
Okay, so before we end, habol ko lang ito. The DFA has summoned Chinese Ambassador Wang Xilian over China's China's imposition of ban against former Senator Tolentino dahil sa kanyang pagiging vocal sa pag-assert ng ating sovereign rights sa West Philippine Sea. So tama lang po na pagpaliwanagin.
We have to need answers also from the Chinese ambassador. I cannot comment much on that kasi isa rin ako sa mga vocal critic ng China because of what they are doing in the West Philippine Sea. Wala pa ngayon, pero pag nagkikita kami, isnabero yung ambassador na yun Ang galit sa akin pero okay lang. Galit din naman ako sa kanila sa ginagawa nila sa ating mga mangingisda at mga Navy. So, feeling is mutual. No? So, they just have to explain bakit ganun yung consequences. No? I think they have to respect our officials, our legislators, especially when we voice our position. We are not against the Chinese people. Ako po, I grew up with Chinese people. I went to a Chinese school. I am against what their government is doing, especially in with regards to disrespecting our territorial rights and our sovereignty.
Okay, on that note, thank you so much.
Thank
Senator
you.
GB, diretso doon sa filing ng kanyang mga bills. Ay, hindi natin na
appropriations for 2025 for PhilHealth. Ito po yung nawalang 70 billion. Yung nawala nung NEP to the sa budget, 74.4 billion in support of the Universal Healthcare Program kasi it will greatly help implementation. So, pay for PhilHealth premiums, ito po yung nawala, improve PhilHealth benefit packages. So, yung pong nawala nung naging controversial, so hopefully maibalik natin through supplemental budget, which will be released by the DBM, Direct PhilHealth, and must be used by December 31 of 2025. Okay, tapos meron ako master plan for infrastructure development. Of course, that's my advocacy. Again, I refile yung Magna Carta for barangay health workers. Napasado na po sa Senado, pasado na rin po sa House, pasado na rin po sa BICAM, bigla silang nag-withdraw. Withdraw ng House yung kanila, sayang. This would have helped a lot of our barangay health workers all over the country. So, pinasa po natin. Also, yung Daily Minimum Wage Increase Act, the Senate filed for 100 pesos 2024, yung House last minute ng 2025, 200 pesos. Nilagay ko 250 kasi sigurado naman tatawad yan. But any increase, whether it's 150, 200, would mean a lot to our daily wage earners. Kasi po, because of the inflation right now, yung pong 100 pesos nga ilan na lang mararating doon. Pero but still, kung daily madadagdag natin, malaking tulong pa rin yun. Kung 150, 200, then I would support. So, yan po. Tapos, legalizing motorcycle taxi act kasi 2016, mag-10 years na, pa rin tayo, pilot project pa rin. I guess it's about time that the motorcycle taxis and the couriers will be given a legal basis already. Ano pa ba? Yun lang, Defensive Driving Act, binasa ko na rin niya po yan, and others. And last but not the least, resolution on the proliferation of online casino. So basically, it's more of on my, pinasa ko more on my advocacies. UHC amendment also is there. Lowering of PhilHealth premium contribution or UHC Act. So it's more of sa infra and healthcare, tsaka pong nasama lang po yung online gaming because it's really disturbing.
Okay. On that note, thank you so much, Senator J.V. Ejercito.